you saying, Joe?
Peace warrior. Hey, everybody.
There's Choop. Say hi, Choop. There's Choop. There's Choopy. Choopy's here. So, wanted to touch base and do a little live streaming. We have been out of service for quite a few days. We're in Idaho. It's about 10 a.m. and we, like I said, we've been in locations that were kind of like in the mountains, mountainous and valleys. And we were at 3 days ago, Glenn's Ferry. Want to shout out to our camp neighbor Jeremy that was there. He was awesome. And the folks that run the what's it called? Trail break RV campground. We camped out there, and that was at Glenn's Ferry. And we left there, went through Gooding. Want to shout out to the deputies there in Gooding County. One deputy, it was night, we were walking through the night. Of course, somebody said, oh, they were concerned about, we've been stopped by the cops probably about like 7-8 different times. They've all been great when they find out, we're not in distress, or we're not coming into town, rolling into town like Rambo to, we feel like that when we're rolling into towns. But anyways, the first deputy stopped us. It was really late. It was like 3:30 in the morning. We're walking into town, of course, and he come over and he's like, "Hey, you guys okay?" We're like, "Yeah, we're walking across the country," and we kind of told him what we're doing, and our batteries were dying, and he gave us his flashlight. And then we met up with another deputy when we got into what was that town?
Same time.
What was it? Not Glenn's Ferry.
No.
That was Bliss. It was Bliss, Idaho. It's Gooding County, the sheriff's there. And the gentleman helped us to get on to our next location, helped us to find a campground, because we walked all night. We walked like 15 miles, got into a place, stopped at a place called Ziggy's, which was the 24-hour gas station that they had, or a convenience store. They had a little cafe there. We got in there about 4:30 in the morning. We want to shout out to JJ and send prayers out to his fiancee Jennifer. JJ was a young man that saw us sitting outside of the convenience store there at 4:30 in the morning with our buggy, a Choop, and we were having a cup of coffee sitting on the bench. We really didn't see him go in, but when he came out, he walked up and said, "Hey, I didn't know if you guys had any food or anything," and he gave us food. He gave us drinks and everything like that. We want to shout out to him. That was awesome. I'm going to blog a little bit more about that, so you'll be looking for that blog about JJ, because there's a little more to that story. I just can't get into it right now. We're walking along Old Highway 30. It's pretty busy. We walked after that we went to Banbury Hot Springs. We camped out there. While we were there, our neighbor campers, said, "Hey, why'd you park your car all the way at the top and drag all your stuff down here and walk it? You should have just pulled your car up." But we're like, well, we kind of walked from Bend with Bend, Oregon. They're like, what? So turns out they were there with a whole group, Calvary Church. Oh gosh, what's the name? Calvary Church. That's not exactly right.
Gooding, though, right?
Yeah, in Gooding. Goodness gracious, I can't believe that it's slipping my mind right now. But it's the church there, and I will be posting some photos and whatnot. But anyway, they were there having kind of a weekend retreat camping thing, and they invited us to potluck. We went to potluck. We went to Sunday service. We watched a movie that night with them. We want to thank them. They were awesome. Do a shout out. Just thank them for their hospitality, their generosity. And we just send prayers and ask for God to bless that church. They're wonderful. We have been something that we've been doing since we started this journey is as we meet people, seems every single town that we've come through, we connected with one person, and that person has either blessed us, or that person was even throughout that, we found that person has needs, as we all do. So we have a book that we have carried with us since before this journey started, which we put names into that book for prayer. And what was really awesome is that was the first church, that group that we actually met along the way, that we congregated with, and we asked them. And while we were doing the movie, they were showing they passed that book around and prayed. So there are a lot of names that were lifted up in prayer, and we're really excited about that. And we really want to thank them, because that was just such an awesome thing for them to do. And so now their name's in the book, and I'm sure, just as everyone else, that church has needs too. So Calvary Chapel, oh, there it is, Calvary Chapel Church. We thank you. And so then we left Banbury. Well, we want to, yes, we had the camp host there who gave us free admittance into the hot springs, geothermal hot springs pool that they had there, which was awesome. And that helped our aching muscles. Been hitting it pretty hard. We're trying to get across the country before the snow. Anybody who knows Trish or Peace Angel, anyone who knows me knows I do not like the cold weather, so that's why I go to Florida a lot. So, but we are going to try to get across as quickly as possible. But at the same time, when we meet folks, we want to be able to spend time. We want to spend time in communities. We've been showing a lot of the great things that are happening out here. But I also, feel on my heart that we've seen a lot of, towns in this nation that really, really could use attention, that really aren't, I think, cared for the way that they should be, and that's the other side of this coin. And I think I'm going to start showing a little bit of that as well, because that's really why we're out here, for grassroots community development. We want people to realize that there are a lot of needs across this nation, just as there are a lot of amazing people, and the only way that we can recognize those people that are great out there, that are still willing to step up even when they're not asked, or when they don't need to, but also recognize that we have those needs, is by uniting and coming together and realizing what the real needs are. We're spending a lot of time, in my opinion, which, take that for what it is, for what it's worth. In my opinion, we're spending a lot of time fussing over a lot of things that aren't making a difference every day. And it's a waste of our time and productivity. So, I'd like to show a little bit more of the other side that we're seeing while we're out here. There's a lot of things that need to be done in this nation, and, we could be spending our time better focused on taking care of some of those things in some of these communities across our country. But okay, off the soapbox. Anyways, we left Banbury last night, walked about 10 miles into Bliss, Idaho, got there about 2 a.m. Troop's a little mad because he's not on camera. I think he's back there whining, but we'll take care of him. But we got into Bliss, Idaho about 2 a.m. Really no campground. We can't afford to stay in hotels everywhere we go. We really have to be frugal, because we both quit our jobs to do this walk. So we have a tent, and shout out to Lindsay, who upgraded us. We had a 2-person tent, and he's 6'5". I can fit in it pretty nicely, but it was a little bit of a tight squeeze, and she had a 3-person tent that she never opened. She goes, "Why don't we just trade? Because it's just me." And we're like, "Thank you, Lindsay. We love you." Thank you to the Vega family that we met there, also at Banbury, that invited us to that picnic or whatnot. But so then we got to Buell at 2 a.m. Had nowhere really to go, so we slept on the ground in the back corner of a parking lot behind the convenience store there, which used to be like an RV park kind of thing. So that was a little bit of a rough night, but we're right now on our way to Fowler, where there's a campground. We're going to camp out until tomorrow probably, and then we'll be heading into Twin Falls, my navigator says. Twin Falls. So we'll be heading in. Hey, we're making good time. We're rocking it out here. We're really loving the journey. We've got some, it's not always we show you all the good stuff, but man, it gets a little rough out here. We get hot, we get tired, we're going up hills, we yell at each other a little bit, and then we just move on.
I ain't got no bruises yet.
He's hanging in there. He's a tough one, this guy. Okay. So, all right. So we just wanted to let you know we didn't drop off the face of the planet. It's been several days, but we'll be doing some posts. We got a lot of pictures from the last few days. We just had 0 service, and we'll be sharing that soon. So, great talking to everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye.